Hey y'all, today we're making some homemade boxed mixes. So the first mix that we're going to make is pancake mix. It's super easy. All of these are going to be real easy to throw together. So you gotta put these together, I'm just saying. And I just want to also add in here, none of these are like low fat or low sugar. These are just regular mixes. So if you feel like you need to substitute some stuff out, now I can't vouch for how it's going to taste because this is the way I'm making it, but if you need to substitute, feel free to try to adjust it to whatever fits your dietary needs, okay? So what I'm adding in is 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And this recipe too, y'all, is a just add water recipe for the pancake mix. So we're going to add everything in this bowl, and then all you're going to have to do is add a little bit of water to it when you're ready to bake these pancakes, and you're going to be good to go. So the next thing we're going to add in is 2 tablespoons of baking powder, because we got to make sure our pancakes are nice and fluffy. Then we're going to add in a tablespoon of baking soda, and then about a teaspoon of salt. Obviously, you see I did not measure that, but it's close. Then you're going to need 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. And then the last thing we're going to add in is some dry, like powdered milk. And you can get this at Walmart, it's super cheap. And you're going to need 3/4 cup of that, okay? And then once you get that added in there, all you're going to have to do is get this good and mixed up. Just get your whisk out. Like I said, make sure you have a big bowl because all these obviously are powdered and you don't want to end up slinging this all over the house, which I do a little bit anyway, but you know, that's how I do in my kitchen. Just make sure you mix it up really, really good. Now, these are the containers I'm using. I got it at Walmart. They were on sale for $5 if y'all need any. I mean, I'm not sponsored. I'm just, sharing the love. But these are 1/2 gallon, and they do sell these in gallon sizes as well. So if you have a really big family or you just want to make a whole lot more of this, then you could get the gallon jars. And I think the gallon jars were only like $8 maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they were. But you're just going to pour this over into your whatever jar you're storing your stuff in, screw the lid on, and it is ready to go. That's your pancake mix all ready to go for you. Next up, we're going to make muffin mix. Now, I'm not going to put any add-ins into the muffin mix because, I have grandkids, and if I'm making muffins, it's usually when they are here. So sometimes they want blueberry, sometimes they want chocolate chip, sprinkles, whatever. So I'm just going to put together the base mix and then add in whenever I get ready to bake them. So what you're going to need for this one is 6 cups of all-purpose flour. And obviously, like I said, with any of these recipes, you can double them, triple them, half them, whatever you need to do. But you need 6 cups of the all-purpose flour. Okay? So then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of baking powder, and I really wish I would have used a little fine sieve, because I did have a few little chunks in my baking powder, so I was trying to break those up as I was mixing, but it would have been easier if I would have just broke it up beforehand. Then I added in 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda and about a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to have all the directions down in the description box for y'all, so don't worry about that. Then I'm adding in 2 1/8 cups of sugar. I know that sounds weird, but I actually halved this recipe, so I'm making a half of the recipe, and I'm going to put what I used down in there, but you could absolutely double this if you need to, but it is not going to fit in one of those 1/2 gallon jars. I'm just going to tell you. And again, I know somebody's freaking out about the sugar, but I told y'all these are not low sugar, low fat recipes. These are just the way they are. So we're going to mix that up really, really good with our whisk. Make sure you break up any chunks if you have any little chunks of anything in there. But you want to make sure all these are mixed very, very well so that when you get ready to bake with them, you don't miss out on some of the ingredients. And there's another one of those little 1/2 gallon jars that I'm using. And then I'm just using a measuring cup to just scoop out the the mix to put it in my jar, because if you try to pour this, I mean, it's kind of going everywhere just with the measuring cup. I should have used a smaller one, but if you just try to pour it, it's really going to just go everywhere. So just scoop it in there, do the best that you can, and it'll be fine. But you can see this recipe filled that half-gallon jar up. So again, if you're going to double this, what I made, double the recipe I'm using, then you're going to need a bigger jar. So I'm going to use these blueberries, the dried blueberries in mine. I thought they wouldn't sink, but they did sink just like a fresh blueberry, just FYI. But they were still good. So next up, we're making brownies or brownie mix. So what we're going to need for this one, and y'all don't worry about the directions on how to bake these. I'm going to put that down in the description box too. The pancake mix, we just add water. You need to add a few more things for the muffins and brownies, but I'm going to put all of that down in the description box for y'all so you'll have everything. Okay, what I added was 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And now, if you don't like sugar, please close your eyes or fast forward a few seconds, because we're going to add 4 cups of sugar in here. Y'all know brownies are not they're sweet. They're sweet. They got to have the sugar, right? Plus, we're adding a whole cup of cocoa powder in a minute. You really got to do something to tamp that down because it's bitter. If you don't, you know what I'm saying? Brownie mix takes a lot of sugar, but you're going to have this on your cheat night, so it'll be okay. So I added 4 cups of sugar, and then we're going to add in 1 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Then we're going to add in Lord, I done lost myself. We added in, what did we add in? 3/4 of a tablespoon. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. 3/4 of a tablespoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I lost my mind there for half a second. So then we're just going to mix this up really, really good. And if you come across, you can kind of see more in the brownie mix. You can see how I have a few little tiny clumps in there. That's my darn baking powder or baking soda, whichever one. But or that was cocoa, obviously. But I'm just trying to break those up the best I can because I want to make sure that everything is completely mixed. And again, I'm using one of these half-gallon jars that I got at Walmart. $5. Great investment because you can use them for any kind of storage. Even if you're not making these mixes, you could put your sugar, your flour, your oatmeal, your grits, your rice, whatever in these containers. And they're real good. I've put them in the dishwasher 100 times and they're fine. So I'm breaking stuff up if I see it, and I'm just scooping it out and putting it into my little jar there. And now we have made pancake mix, muffin mix, and brownie mix. See there? And you see I had a little bit of cocoa there. I just shook it up. But that's it, y'all. All the recipes, I cooked them. They turned out fantastic. My muffins are a little weird shape, but I think it's because you cook them at a higher temperature, but they still tasted good. So if y'all are looking to do a little more homemade stuff, you got to make these. Okay, that's all I've got for y'all today. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.